Hey everybody, welcome back. So now that I have the wideband O2 sensor in my Jeep CJ, I want to start tuning it, but I have a minor problem. And I caused this myself, and the problem is really simple. Down here is the fuel injection control box. This is an old Holley TBI projection, and it's all manually adjusted. And I had some bad broken out potentiometers in it. And if you excuse me, I'm going to stop calling them potentiometers and start calling them pots. Because if I say potentiometers 27 times, I'll say it wrong at least 10. And some of y'all will get down in the comments and correct me. So, pots. So, when I had to replace the pots, I ordered them. And for reasons which I don't know, they sent me two with the stalks and three that are flush. And I didn't do what I should have done. I didn't order the correct ones and wait. I went ahead and soldered them in. Now, they work fine, but it sucks trying to adjust them. So, I want to make extensions for these so that I can just reach down and adjust them without having to get my head down here and a screwdriver to do it. So, I have some measurements, and I'm going to get into Fusion 360, and we're going to make some little extensions. We're going to print them on the Getek Alkyd resin printer with the white ABS-like resin.
So this is of course Fusion 360, and I think this is going to be a pretty simple design. There isn't really much to it. I may spice it up a bit with some serrations, but I have 7 dimensions. So the first thing I want to do is get my dimensions in, and to do that I am going to say modify, and then come down and click change parameters. And I am going to click the plus button for a new parameter, and I'm going to put the first one in, and then the rest of them I am going to do off camera because it's boring to watch. So I am going to type in blade width, and then I am going to come down to expression, and my blade width is 3 millimeters, and say OK. And now I have that parameter in there. So let me stop the recording and put the rest of them in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here are all my parameters in. You saw blade width, that's the flat screwdriver blade part. Blade width is 3 millimeters, blade thickness is 1 millimeter, blade length is 5, the shaft diameter is 6, the shaft length is 15. These things sit about 5 millimeters below the surface of the box, and the others stick out about 10 millimeters, so 15 should make them look about the same as the others. I'm not looking for perfection here, just in the ballpark. And then there's a little step on the end before the shaft comes out, and I'm going to put that in there, and that steps it down to 3.5 millimeters, and that is 0.8 of a millimeter in depth. And you're probably going to say, gee, Chuck, this is such a simple design. Why not just type these right into the drawing? And this is just a good habit to get into, because if you make something really complex, you might have 30, 40 sketches, and then you go back and look for, and then you need to change a single dimension, and you're going, okay, what sketch did I put that in? It's so much easier just to come here and do it than it is to search a dozen or more sketches looking for a parameter you type directly into the sketch. Okay, so that's the reason I'm doing that. I'm going to say okay. Now, one thing I want to do before I go any further, I have a tendency when I make mistakes to get frustrated and start Control Zing, and I'll Control Z back until I've taken out all of my parameters. So I don't want to do that, so I'm going to save it right now, and I'm going to call this, what am I going to call this? Pot shaft. Okay, pot shaft. Um, pot shat? No, pot shaft. Okay, saving my stuff is fine for now. And okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to create a sketch on the bottom plane because that's where I like to work. I'm going to click up in here because I want to be looking straight down at it because again, that's what I like. And then I can move it around and change the view to my heart's content. So first thing let's do is let's extrude the entire shaft length out. Is that what I want to do? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Let's extrude the entire shaft length out, which is 5.5 millimeters. So we're going to make a center diameter circle. We're going to come here, and we're going to go click S for shaft diameter. There's our shaft diameter parameter, and enter. And I'm going to tip it a bit. Let's zoom in. And now I'm going to hit Q for press pull. And now I want to extrude this up. I'm going to hit S for shaft again. And now I'm going to pick shaft length. And there's my shaft, and I'm going to hit enter. So this is my shaft length of 15 millimeters. Now you're probably going to say, Chuck, why didn't you do shaft length less that step? Because it's a stinking 8/10 of a millimeter and I don't care. So let's do that next. I'm going to create a a sketch on this surface. And I'm going to do another center diameter circle. I'm going to let that lock into the center. And this is going to be 3.5. Oops, nope. Sorry, I want to click S for step, and I'm going to pick step diameter, and that'll give me my 3.5. Now, if I decide that needs to be 3 and not 3.5, I just go into modify and change parameters and change the number there, and it changes it on my sketch. So it's just a good habit to get into. So now I am going to hit Q to push pull again, click that, and we are going to come up. I'm going to tap S again and say step depth, right? And I should come up that little bit of step. All right. This is basically the same, all I need except for the blade. And let's do the blade next. So I'm going to create a sketch on my little top step extrusion piece. And I need what do I want? I'm going to do a center diameter rectangle because that will make sure it's in the center, right? It will make sure it's in the center. At least I think so. So create a rectangle, a center rectangle. I'm going to let's get this down where we can see it a little better. There we go. Let's make it right here. I'm going to let it lock into the center, and I'm going to do this. I'm just going to let it be a lot wider because I don't care. So our first number there is going to be the width. So I am going to hit B for blade, and I am going to pick blade thickness and tab to the next one. And this is going to be, and I don't even really need this because it's just going to be the width of the whole thing, right? So I don't really care what that is. I could be a nice guy and put that number in, but I think I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to leave it like that. And now I'm going to do Q to push pull. I'm going to select this piece up here. I'm going to hit B for blade again. And now I'm going to do my blade length and enter. So there's my part. I could stop right there if I wanted to and be done. But you know what? Let's put some serrations on it because serrations are cool. Let me think what I want to do. I think I'm going to leave it all like that, except the serrations. I don't think I may fill it this outer edge here, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to put my serrations on first. So to put the serrations in, I am going to create a sketch on this here. I think I am going to use the rectangle tool or a rectangle tool. It doesn't matter which. There are fancier ways to do it, but I just want this done. I don't want this to take a long time. So let's get this centered up here. I'm going to use a center rectangle again. Sometimes I do things in ways a lot of you won't like, and you know what? That's completely fine because it's something that I like and it makes me happy. So center rectangle, and I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to make this. I don't care about that number because the number, oh yes, that's the number I do care about. Let's make it 0.25. Let's try that. 2.5, and it's the other number I do care about because I want to make that something too. So let's go tab and let's make this one 0.5. 0.5. All right, and enter. Okay, now let's zoom in so we can see what we're looking at a little bit better. Whoops, what did I just do? I just zoomed in a bit too much. That's okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to Q to push pull again. I'm going to, God, it's not rotating the way I want it. I need to change my center. And let's come down 10 millimeters with that. 10. Whoops, I want to do minus 10, don't I? Not plus 10. Now I can't see my number. My number is, where is my number? Oh, I see it, did it. Okay, minus 10. Minus 10. And that's not even close to what I wanted, so I don't know what happened there. So I'm going to say cancel to that extrude, and I'm going to start again. Where is this thing revolving from? All right, let's try this again. Q to push pull. That way, I want to go. No, come on now. Come on now. What are you doing? And I want to go that way, and I want to go 10 minus 10 millimeters. So minus 10. And it didn't do it. All right. Can't. Okay, so since it didn't want to do what I wanted it to do there, let's come up here and say edit feature. And now I'm going to go distance minus 10. Minus 10. See if I can get that to work. And enter. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is I just want to do a pattern on a path. I could do a revolve, but I use pattern on a path a lot, so I'm very familiar with it. So we are going to go create and pattern and a circular. I could do circular pattern. I have to do pattern on a path. Circular pattern. And I want to pattern features. And the feature I want to pattern is this one down here, this extrude. And it's going to ask me next the axis I want to go around, and I want to go, see if it'll let me choose that. It does, and right now it has 3 of them, and I want it like, I don't know, how many do I want? Let's try 30. 30 doesn't seem bad, but I think it could be a little bit more. Let's try 40. This is all just, look at it and see what makes you happy. I like that, so let's say okay to that. Okay, so there is my, they didn't need to be quite that deep, did they? Um, do I care? You know what? I don't. Almost looks more like a saw than anything else. So let's change that a little bit. So let's go back into this sketch. This is where, had I put this in the parameters, it would have been a bit easy, but I didn't. So I'm going to edit that. So I want to edit this sketch here. Edit sketch. And this 0.5 number here, I'm going to change it to 0.3. Yes, 0.3. 0.3. Enter. And finish sketch. So anyway, that's my finished part. I am going to right click it. I am going to say save as mesh. And I am going to say okay to all that because I don't care about all that. It's called pot shaft. I'm going to save it to my desktop and say save. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I am going to get this open and printed, and we'll come back and take a look at it after I've printed it and see how it fits.
So these are the final printed parts. It turned out that the grooves or splines, whatever you want to call them, turned out to be a bit finer than what I was looking for. I don't even know if you can see them here, but you can probably hear them. So they are there, and they do work. There is quite a bit more grip there than there is down here where I didn't put any. Can't even see in the camera if the camera's picking them up or not, but they are there. So here is one of the actual, this isn't one of the ones that's in the box, of course, but it's identical to one of the ones that's in it. And this is the side here that faces out. So you can see my fit. This is a version 1 product, by the way. This is pretty impressive for me. You can see they fit in there pretty snugly and don't come out. They don't wobble around. and I can easily adjust it. I was thinking I was probably going to have to glue them, or they'd either be too big or too loose, and if they were loose, I was going to glue them. But my only concern is, can I get those in without tearing the solder legs off of the board? But we're going to find that out shortly, because I'm going to give these a try right now. Okay, so I already stuck one in, and you can see I got it in there, and it fits really tight. It doesn't wobble around, except, what's on the around. I realized I should have put a pointer on it, and I forgot that, but I don't think that really matters. I can put a line of paint stick down them, or felt pen. If I ever make any more, I'll put a pointer down them. So I'm going to try and get this one in now. And they are a little on the snug side. I really don't want to break the pot off of the board or tear the legs out. So I'm not going to push too terribly hard. But I do kind of want to get them in there. Look how far back that one's going to be. I don't know. Okay, well, you know what? They're all on, and they all work. And hopefully they're going to make tuning this a little bit easier to do. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. They're not, I didn't have to glue them, and I'm happy with them. So that's all I really wanted. That's kind of how I wanted the, can't see it with my fingers in the way. That's how I really wanted the ridges, splines on it to be, and I got it way too fine, but that's fine. So anyway, I think now I'm ready to start tuning this thing, and I'll be able now just to reach down from sitting in the seat. Anyway, that's where they are. So they're right between your legs when you're sitting down, and then I can just watch the meter as I'm turning it, and I'll get this thing tuned. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.